Welcome back to This Ain't Sunday Morning podcast, where we talk about life after the benediction. My name is Courtney.
I'm Tanisha.
I'm Paige.
I'm Antoine. We are the young adult leadership team of West Side MBC in St. Louis, Missouri, where our aim is to reach the city for God. Shout out to our senior pastor, Charles H.N. Bobo Sr. We affectionately call him PC. Check our show notes for service times.
Okay, so let's get into the main topic. But first, we want to introduce our guest. His name is Cortez Mangrum, and we want to thank you for joining us. Cortez, let me tell you a little bit about Cortez. He's a maintenance lead at Westside, where he's worked for 10 years. He studied criminal justice at Forest Park Community College and graduated from Missouri College of Hair and Styling. So he's a barber as well. So if y'all need some haircuts, go ahead and hit up Cortez. I got a couple myself, and they were lit. Cortez became a father at the age of 20 and is a proud father of 10 children. He's also a veteran. He was stationary in Germany for 4 years and also did a 15-month tour in Iraq, where he was a part of the tank and armor unit as a tanker. That's kind of neat. Cortez has a passion for his fellow veterans and is working on a book called The Soldier Within to help soldiers returning from duty with PTSD and other issues that transition back into the daily life. So I think that's important. I didn't know you was writing a book, man. That's pretty powerful, man. So that's good. We would thank you for joining us, and we would like to give you a gift. So we give all our guests gifts.
Thanks.
Well, yes. You ready? You want to see what the gift is?
Mm-hmm.
So we got a nice little T-shirt here for you with the logo on it. Let me turn it upside down. So we want to kind of let the people know about your actual story. So we want to get into the main topic is about, you growing up outside of church, coming to church, being a part of a church, basically building your ministry here as far as a lead janitor, how you worked your way all the way up, and people are following your example because you've been here for 10 years. So can you tell the people a little bit about your story, how you became who you are today as a father as well in the church?
Well, as you say, I started having kids when I was 20. Now I'm 42. I got 10 kids. But a lot of times, like I said, I didn't know how to be a father, because, like I said, I met my dad when I was 20, and he died when I was 22. So I didn't get really a chance to get the blueprint or get some of the things that I would know as a father. A lot of things I had to learn on my own, or hands on. And so I learned that when I used to come at my kids all the time, they used to come at me, and sometimes they'd rebel against me, and I'd be like, man, I just wondering what was going on. And so one went and rebelled against me, and then another rebelled against me, and I started saying at first, I was like, okay, maybe it's their mother, because maybe she said something, or, she was bitter about a relationship or something. So I tried to throw that on that at first, just to try to keep it away from me. I think I didn't really want to accept certain things, but God put it in. He revealed it to me. He was just saying it, and I kept trying to avoid it first.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, he ain't saying it to me. I'm not hearing this right. And then when my third child rebelled against me and said something to me, it hurted, but it kind of opened my eyes. And when it opened my eyes it was like, okay, now these 3 kids have 3 different mothers. They are not all feeling the same way about something that they mama did, obviously.
Right.
Somebody got to be the least common denominator here. And I'm thinking it's got to be me. So the first thing I did was I went back to the drawing board, and I was like, Lord, all right, you said it's me. So what is it? So he just started running it down. He was like, look, every time I go and I would lead the situations with a female, whether it was her fault or I felt like it was my fault, you know how we all do, the blame game. Well, I had to take the blame game out of it, and I had to put it just straight on the table and just say, okay, it was times I left their mother when I was upset. and I didn't explain to them at all. And a lot of times we move as fathers and as men and don't look at the kid. See, we look at the relationship and we look at how much we hurt her, and that's where we lose out with the kids because it was like my baby started listening to the things that they would hear from their mother because that's the only person that was telling them the situation.
Yeah.
I was completely gone.
Yeah.
I would be gone to a whole nother relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times everything came from their mother. So when they sounded like their mother, when they come to me and I'd be like, man, you sound just like your mama.
Yeah.
I started looking at the drawing board like, hold on. That's the only place they've been getting the answers from.
Yeah.
Is their mother. I never sat down and just said, hey, look, this is what happened. Now, I wouldn't go get into depths and say, well, your mama did this, or I cheated, or she cheated. No, I'm just meaning like to let the babies know that it's still love, regardless to if whatever the situation is, me and your mother can come together for you.
Right.
For your sake, we can make amends.
Right.
And that's where a lot of things that I noticed that I couldn't reach my kids with. And I even had it at the time, when because I rebelled against my dad until my mother gave me different um, stories that she told me, and she was like, son, a lot of times, that was on my personal situation.
Right.
The reason why you couldn't do that. Right. And and I called my dad a deadbeat.
Yeah.
And I got chance, like my mother told me, like on her deathbed, she was like, baby, I really miss your dad. And I wanted to let you know I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to tell you the things that I did that stopped you from being able to be with him or her personal feelings. And I respected that to the fullest, but it made me go back to the drawing board and think about the things that I said with my father. Because I told my dad, I was like, are you a deadbeat? Going by what my mother said.
Right.
And I didn't know the personal things that it was, sometimes it was from just us moving as adults and not sitting back and listening or sitting back and talking to the kids and explaining that to them to let them know why you leaving. And so that's why I know a lot of times how they rebelled against me. It was because I set up a lot of that. I wasn't there to be able to.
That's interesting about your story. So, do you think people who are more likely to rebel if they don't have a father in the house, they'll find something to replace it, whether it's another activity or something to do?
Yeah, and that's where a lot of problems come in. Yeah, we have a lot of, like, let's just say a lot of people out on the streets. You can just say gangs.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people who don't have that father figure runs to.
Yeah.
It runs to an older male or an older role model who could fill that void.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's filled with negativity, because you still at a child's mind.
Yeah.
So if you get with an adult and he wants you to do something negative, most of the time it's not that hard to get a child to do that.
Yeah.
So that's how you can easily get sucked into different things like gangs.
Yeah.
Even having kids.
Yeah.
Because I think that a lot of even with my kids, I think that a lot of me going around and being with this woman and then being with that woman, it was like me running. I was running from like a lot of reality. And like when I did see my dad and them, they was always like Playboys. Like my dad had I say maybe 5 women that used to stay with him. And so they'd be all around the house. So that's what I seen. Sometimes when I go over there, even for the time I did, I go over there and see 4 or 5 women at his house.
Yeah.
So, and nobody never said to step back and be like, "Hey, man, look, don't do that.
That's ain't you supposed to do that.
Yeah, don't give everybody this. Don't do that right there. And it was just like a big thing. Everybody, like, oh man, the girl's on you. You can get this, get that, but it was a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
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 So, what advice could you give somebody that may be fatherless right now or has already made their bed, so to speak? What advice could you give them, and how did you eventually take responsibility?
What I did was, and first I'm gonna start with the advice that I would give them. The advice that I would give them is to think different, think out the box. I had to do that.
Mm.
See, I'm the last of 4 boys. I'm the baby of 4 boys.
Okay.
And I'm the first to graduate high school. I'm the first to go to college. I'm the first to go to the military. It was so much
Dysfunction.
that I didn't even know when I was going to the military. I thought it was like college. I went and got I went with my student loan, bought all clothes, thinking I'm finna be just walking on campus like they do on
Partying.
TV.
Yeah.
And they took my clothes when I got to the military, and I couldn't fit them again. They was brand new.
Oh wow.
I was like, I went from a 36 to a 30 in the waist. So I had to give
Sheesh.
all my clothes back, all my clothes to my brothers when I got home.
Wow.
Because you couldn't take it to the store after being in basic training.
Yeah.
It's been gone too long. So
Yeah.
no receipts is going to take that money back.
Wow.
So I had them be the one that make a change, you know. Out of all my brothers, it was real easy to follow down that line and say, "Oh man, my dad, my mom, you know, make excuses
Yeah.
and not do nothing." But I wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make it just a little bit harder than the avenue that I can go that was very easy. You know, I wanted to work,
Yeah.
and so that's what a lot of my power came from and my strength came from, was me just doing it different. You know, just getting a different outcome than me seeing my brothers. Because that's what I did. I used to watch my brothers and them, even in relationships. I would watch them and see the things that they would do and be like, okay, I got to groove this on her. I can't do that like that. I can't tell her I love her because she just crushed this heart right here, you know. So it was certain things that I did to just do it different than they did it, you know. And it's very hard because when you're in the neighborhoods and you got everything easily negative around you, it's easy to get into that. But you just have to be the one that puts your foot down and just say, you know what? I don't want to see that. I just want to go this way. And that's what I did a lot of times. I just stepped out my comfort zone.
Yeah.
A lot of things I really was like, even with the military, man, I was so scared when I got there
Yeah.
because I had never left home.
Yeah.
You know, I was a mama's boy.
Right.
Even though my weapon when I was in Iraq, even though my weapon cover, everybody else getting killed, killer, one kill, a killer be killed, a one shot kill. No, I had mama's boy on my a weapon cover to keep the dirt out.
Wow.
You know, and that was because like my mother was the one who stepped into place for my father role and her role.
Right.
You know, for that time being. You know, and that's why I say a lot of that, you know, and people will go and say, man, I've been through so much in my life and I had so much going on. Yeah, it comes with the territory.
So I would ask you this: how has God strengthened your life as a dad now? And then what advice could you get to men that are struggling with that right now, whether they're single or married? If they're in and out somebody's life, what advice would you give to them?
I would give to them that first, try to recreate yourself. And the reason why I say that, meaning don't have personal feelings towards your relationship. First of all, throw the whole relationship away. That's gone.
Yep.
You and whoever else you was with or whatever didn't make it, leave that dog to the side.
Yep.
Focus on the baby. Yeah, you're going to have times where sometime, because I still have it today. But I also had it where I felt like I was stepping back. I felt like it was a step back when maybe one of my baby mothers said something to me. And then I got another 2-3 steps up when I found out one of when my son's mother told me that, and I hadn't talked to her in like 20 years.
Wow.
And I'm talking about she had got so many different things that would come, like I'm talking restraining orders and everything. But I never fought her. And finally, now he's 22. She came to me and she told me when I did the first Black Fathers podcast, she told me, she was like, I really like that you did that, you know, and I never got a chance to hear her explain certain things to me like she did after she heard me say the podcast with, about me taking blame for what I felt was my fault.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the first thing to do. Take what's your fault.
Yeah.
When you take what's your fault, that's what starts the conversation.
Yeah. Accountability.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because everybody start with the blame game. You're going to go right back to the same arguments you was before you left 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Kids still ain't got nothing going on. Kids still ain't knowing nothing.
Yeah.
But if somebody take blame first
Mm-hmm.
and say, you know what, I'm going to take this,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can just start from here.
Yeah.
That's what I meant when I said like recreating.
Yeah.
You have to recreate your whole relationship. Because if you go back off on y'all stuff that you was stuck on, it'll never last for the kids.
That's powerful advice, man. Because like you think about it, even being married, the men, we're the leaders of the household.
Mm-hmm.
Despite whatever our wives say or what they do, we're accountable for everybody's actions.
Mm-hmm.
We have to lead the household.
Exactly.
We have to keep it maintained. So if somebody's upset, it's up to us to go and apologize. Be the bigger person. You have to lead the household. You can't just allow them to be angry and let it fester throughout the night. Because like I remember that one Cosby episode where they was talking about where Cliff and Claire was like, "Well, we're not gonna go to bed angry." It's just as simple as that. You gotta pray for your spouse. You cannot leave that fester in your household because the children will see it.
Yes, and you definitely got to. And I'm gonna tell you one thing: God is the number one source when it comes down to everything that I've been able to do or being able to help in any situation. It's been God first.
Yeah.
You know, even with my kids.
Yeah.
Man, I was so lost. That's why I said I had to recreate myself.
Yeah.
I was lost after my mom died in 2015.
Wow.
Literally, I was standing on the church lot for a whole month and a half.
Yeah.
And nobody knew it. You know, I would go in the church and be able to go in there and take wash up sometimes and sit on the pews and different things like that. To about maybe I'd say 3, 4 in the morning because I would have to be in there 6. You know, and I kind of thought that was like my worstest times, but that was my best times because I was so close to being able to talk to my father.
Yeah.
To where he would hear everything that I would say. And I say it was October 23rd to November the 25th, Thanksgiving. And we were serving the people in the multi-purpose room. And some lady came in and she said something that sounded so much like my mom. And I just like went out. And when I left out, I went to the sanctuary and I just gave it all to God. Just like, Lord, I don't know what I'm going to do. And so I prayed in there for about maybe 20, 30 minutes. I came out of the sanctuary and one of the saints gave me a key. And she said that the Lord told her to give me the key to the house. And that if I didn't have any money or anything to give her, that she would be waiting and willing whenever I'm able to do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that I can go to the house as soon as I leave from there. And I'm talking about as soon as I walked up the sanctuary, she just handed me a single key.
Wow.
I've been at the place since.
Wow.
But when I say when I first got in the place, it was so hollow, you know. I laid on my powder clothes that I had, slept on them for about a week, but I loved it. I got to be able to feel like it was home. Yeah. So my daughter, Layla, at the time, me and her mom was going through the divorce, and I just needed love. You know, my mom gone. That was my answer to everything. She would give me all my advice and everything, and so I just grasped to my daughter Layla pretty much, and wanted to reach out to get my babies then. And I started noticing, like, when my babies wouldn't come, I kind of felt like what they felt probably when I didn't come to, like, maybe birthday parties. Like, I would give gifts, maybe to the granny, because I wasn't in a place where I could forgive their mother enough to go to this birthday party.
Yeah.
So I would give a gift to their granny or to somebody to give to them. And there I go again, not being able to explain to the babies why I didn't come or why your granny had to give you this gift or something,
Wow,
you know.
that's
So
interesting.
that's where a lot of that recreation came in,
Mm.
you know. And man, like I said, when I thought that was my worstest times, that
Yeah.
was my best times because right now today, I could say that man, he done made so many avenues in so many ways
Yep.
with me just following his lead
Yep.
that I don't have any more, you know, no regrets or nothing, you know.
That's pretty powerful. So it seems like it can be an actual cycle, but continue to tell the people how God strengthened your life, and then like what are the main things that you're doing now that are different from what it used to look like as a father.
First of all, stand in faith when it come to him and knowing he got the answers
Mm.
for me first and foremost.
Mm.
A lot of things I know that if I can't touch him, I'll get put in his hands.
Yeah, amen.
And and most of the time I leave it alone
Yeah.
because it's like something that my brother asked me like I said, a couple of months ago. He asked me, he was like, "Man, why you ain't tell me that you needed some money or needed some help with something?" And I said, "Man, I had gave it to God."
Mm.
And he told me stop talking about it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, I would have never knew you needed help." I said, "Well, how you know I needed help now?"
Yeah. Wow.
Facts.
I'm like, "God, because I ain't tell you
Yeah.
now." So, he just told me to leave it alone. Sometime when he say leave it alone, let it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when we get to sticking our little hand in there somewhere, he'll say, "Oh, okay, he cool.
Yeah.
He got it. He gonna
Yeah.
handle it." And then fall on us again. We like, "Father, please help me."
Yeah.
I just tried to. So,
Yep.
yeah, and just learn to stay fast, when it come down to sticking with him. And that's what I've been doing. Like, and every battle that sometimes people come with, I don't even know it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it's like on the movie or something, you walk or something, and you walk it, so fly across your head, like somebody try to kill you, and then you get them say, "Oh, a quarter."
Missed
And they
that.
say, "Man, I didn't get him." So
Yeah.
that's how it is. And God just been making it where He then kept me out of, the riffraff and it and all that.
I'm curious. I know you said you had 10 kids. Out of those, how many have you like reconciled your father relationship with?
Oh,
Oh, come on, God. Hey,
Wow.
come on, God.
my oldest son, who, man, I hadn't seen. He's been away for a minute.
Okay.
He now has a son,
Okay.
and so, like, okay, three of my babies have kids. Son, have okay. I got three grandbabies. I got two boys and a girl.
Wow.
Okay, and so like now that they are older and able to go through the things that a relationship would go through, then my boys have come to me and have literally said like, "Dad, I want to apologize because I know how relationships is now, and I know what I'm going through with my baby mama and certain things.
Yeah.
And I don't come to them negative and say, 'Oh, well, leave her or do this.' No,
Yeah.
no. I
Yeah.
come to them the way that somebody should have came to me
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and explained, son,
Yeah.
look, yeah, I got different point of views,
Mhm.
but when it come down to the kids, somebody got to come to it at the middle."
Yeah.
And that's where the adults come in, because kids
Yep.
look up to the adults
Yep.
to handle the business.
That's right.
It's like with you and your wife. The kids look up to y'all to handle the business.
That's right.
They ain't gonna be like, "Oh, mama this and daddy not this." After a while, the kids will get to saying that.
Facts.
Yeah.
And that's what I noticed, that children really look at that and they record everything we do.
Yeah.
Like even
Ain't
with
nothing
my
but
son,
sponges,
I
bro.
promise you, my son do the same thing.
Yeah.
He a sponge. Everything I do and say, he do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah,
Wow. That's a powerful journey, man. So faith has taken your journey to a whole nother level.
yeah,
You see how, to me, you seem like you're more at peace.
yeah.
We always talk anyways. And you always talk to my mom, so it's like it seems like you're more comfortable and you're more at peace and you're a lot stronger mentally, which is highly important. And it tells you where God is in your life, how God has continued to cover you during this journey. I mean, sometimes people's journeys have to go through different obstacles. Whether you land in the ditch and you got to figure your way out, but you can't figure your way out because you do need God. That's the purpose of having God in your life. He humbles you because we all need Him when we think we don't. So that's a powerful journey, man. I would love to continue to have another part to this because the culture now, we see a lot of people with either black fathers are not in the church, and we see a lot of children who are fatherless, and then how we continue to minister those who are fatherless. Because I've had one mentee who had a father, but his father wasn't really a part of his life. He taught him the inappropriate things. And then when I talked to him about building a relationship with Christ, he knew who God was already. So it wasn't like I was actually forcing it. It was God just uniting us together, and we were talking like we were brothers.
And see, that's the saying too.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Most of the time when it says like, if you bring the baby up in Christ, he always come back. And I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Even like I say with my granny, she used to take me to church all day. I was raised in a Pentecostal church, so in Pentecostal you go every day. You go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You go 3 times a week. 3 times that day. You go morning, noonday prayer, evening prayer, where they feed you, and all day you in the church at the pews praying. And so that's how that always goes. When you put a child in that situation, in that environment, they gonna run back eventually. They gonna find their way back home.
Yeah.
And that is a true saying.
Yeah.
Train up a child in the way of the Lord, and He will never depart from it.
I promise you. And it took me a minute, but when I did get it and start seeing that this is where He placed me and the reason why He placed me here.
Yeah.
Because the Lord placed me at West Side.
Yeah.
And it was for a reason.
Yeah.
And I started seeing different reasons, and it was like even when I'm smiling now, it's because it's like joy. It's like the Lord got a whole big mountain full of just whatever I want.
It's like, that's
and
cool.
it ain't that I would ever be stingy, but it's like we don't have to share.
Yeah.
You got your own. You got your own. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I just be at peace and to find a peace of mind. Man, I would give up everything to find a peace of mind. I'd do it all again. Yeah. To just find a peace of mind and where I'm at now. I'm humble.
Yeah.
So,
wow, man.
All right, we're in our final segment, Life After Church. I got some questions for you. Other than PC, what other preachers do you listen to?
I listen to TD Jakes. I listen to a lot of. See, I speak a lot through my music. So when it comes down to like,
don't go too far real quick because that's the next question. We can segue right into that.
Yeah.
Well, top 3 songs, top 3 worship songs. I know you be on that CHH as well.
Oh yeah, Holy gotta be one of them.
Okay.
Shoot, any song Lecrae got.
All right.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, Church House, Trap House.
Oh,
1K Few. I got you. I'm there with you. I got you. Okay. All right. What's the scripture that you find yourself quoting and you would consider it your favorite scripture?
It would have to be something out of Job.
Okay.
Because that's one of the things that I really always worked with when it comes to being with God is patience.
Okay.
And I noticed that Job had some of the best patience when it came down to waiting.
Especially with his friend.
And
brother, what you did?
I was just gonna say, most of the time, your buddies be the main ones.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you need to just. And then when your lady come and say, "Curse God," and you like,
yeah.
you tripping? You know how much He did for us?
Yeah.
So yeah, I really dig that. Right there.
So, right now, who's your favorite social media influencer?
I would think my favorite social media influencer is I gotta say Pastor Charles right now, That's the only person who I look at when it come down to.
Okay.
Like that. So,
He be on the ticks and talks.
yeah. That's my guy when it come down to certain things. We can, patch up on that. So, yeah.
Okay. So we big on self-care. So in your self-care time, what was the last movie or series that you watched?
I just watched, I think it was Ghost.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like Power Book 2 or something like that.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
I think it's what I've watched it pretty much, but I ain't watch.
It was
I
just
like
on,
get a little, a little quick something I see. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, a little
Yeah.
interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for Cortez's story. There's a powerful journey. It's a powerful story how faith and journey relate together and how Christ has brought him back to the church and how he's reconciled with his children. We also want to hear from you in the audience. If you have no father in the house and if you attend the church, what are your thoughts and what are your feelings? And if you want to continue this episode, just also put it in the comments as well.
Cortez, we do appreciate you for joining us today. But we do want to end with prayer for those who are fatherless or have lost their father through death of some sort.
Always.
Just the penitentiary, absence. So let's go to God. Father God, we thank you for this time that you have allowed us to share with our brother Cortez, and as he articulated his journey of fatherlessness, dear God, we just want to reach out to those who have experienced this in any way. Dear God, we ask that they just feel you in a different way, that you make yourself known to them, dear God, that they realize that their physical earthly father may have been absent, but you have been there the whole time because you said that you knew who we were when you needed us in our mother's womb, dear God, and that we're here for a purpose and that we're not just cast astray, dear God. We give you glory and honor and we praise you for this, oh God, and that we just continue to just give peace to Cortez, oh God, that you can just see the joy in his face, oh God, that he knows who you are, oh God. That the people that are fatherless right now, dear God, that they get his joy, dear God, that they experience the joy of Jesus, oh God, on the inside, dear God, that you quicken and renew their spirit, dear God. And we just thank you for this day in Jesus' name.
If you enjoyed this episode and if you would like to help support the podcast, please subscribe and leave a rate and a review. For our YouTube listeners, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. To stay up to date with This Ain't Sunday Morning and to get all the behind the scenes content, you can follow us on Instagram at WS.YAM, on Facebook at West Side Young-Adults, and on TikTok at WSYAM.STL. You can also send your thoughts or questions directly to us to our email, youngadults@westsidembc.org. Also, if you send us a screenshot of your like, subscription, or follow, you will be entered into a raffle to win some This Ain't Sunday Morning merch. Thanks for watching.